You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
We're live.
I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, and the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan, and we are again at Ambassador Cigar. There's a fun event going on, Foundation Cigars, and we're hanging out with the owner, Nick, and chatting him up, but tagging in the godfather of cigars from the Cigar Smokers of Michigan. Paul, thanks for sitting in with us. I appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, Jamie.
And so the Cigar Smokers of Michigan, where are you guys at now? How many people are in the group?
As of this afternoon, 1,837 members strong.
That's pretty dang cool.
For having been around roughly 2 years now, I think we'll hit our 3-year mark probably about November. Yeah, I keep pushing to try to hit that 2,000 mark. But, yeah. We're excited for the group we have. It's a great group of guys. Just a bunch of local Michigan guys who like to smoke cigars and post their pictures online.
That's it. So, and that's what we were talking about that earlier, and because I belong to several Facebook groups between, the bourbons that we do and the whiskeys that we do and the spirits and just barring it up. There's a lot of groups to belong to. There's a couple, Michigan and Detroit cigar groups out there.
Absolutely, yeah.
They do some get-togethers and things here and there, and so do the Cigar Smokers of Michigan. What are some of the events that you do? Is there anything coming up? Any meetups or anything?
We do have an event coming up. I think they're planning for October. I don't have any details on that yet.
But you guys get together like Christmas?
Yeah, we were having monthly get-togethers. It's become bi-monthly now.
Yeah.
We're still kind of figuring out what we want to do. Some of the group members have said, hey, maybe if you did like one big quarterly event, but we're still kind of on that monthly kick. Again, it's volunteers, so it's, as we can get together and plan these things.
Yeah, and then bars have events like this. They bring in like the owner of Foundation Cigars, and so a few guys will come out and enjoy cigars.
Absolutely. Events like this I love because not only do you get great deals on cigars, but you get to talk to guys like Nick, who are the brains behind the operation.
I just love that. He's like such a wealth of information.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, every single event I've been to, I've been to ones with Christian Aroa from Aroa Cigars, and Sofia Fuente came up about a month ago. And you get to talk to these people and actually get the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the beginners, people who are just beginning to smoke cigars, they're more interested in the product. But once you start smoking, you've been into it for a while, then you want more. I want to learn more about the tobacco. I want to learn more about what your company plans are. And, all these people are always more than willing, like Nick was tonight, just to open up and, spend time with you and say, hey, yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. And, here are my plans. And you get a lot of great information.
Yeah. So the Facebook page. So people are just sharing pictures. You do some reviews here and there. People love you and your hat.
Thank you.
You are known for the hat.
Yeah, I actually have a new hat for the winter that I'll be debuting.
Because I think you did one video without that, and everybody's like, "Where's that? Where's that?"
I've done a couple. I did a Christmas video a few years back where I wore it's like a Santa Claus stocking. I did one a few years ago for St. Patrick's Day, and I had a green hat.
Okay.
So, we try to keep it light and, have fun with it.
Yeah. So here's the thing with like a lot of the bourbon clubs that I belong to. It's like Facebook is doing a major shutdown on the bourbon clubs. And even the Man Cave Happy Hour, they were like, because we have a little Facebook page, and we're like, oh, hey, let's promote our thing. Let's promote our show and, like, let people know about it. And so we tried to, it's like for... we'll spread the name for X number of bucks. And we're like, Matt was like, hey, let's get their name out there. And we tried to do it. And then Facebook came back and says, because we had cigars in our description, and they said you can't promote it. So it promoted to like about 200 people, and they charged Matt like 75 cents. and then they said you can't do it because you can't promote tobacco products.
Tobacco products, sales of tobacco products especially, they've really cracked down on. we've told our membership, listen, if you guys want to talk privately and, do stuff on your own, but please don't do it on the site. There's Facebook allows you to do announcements.
Right.
And the gentleman who actually started our group, Tim Laporte, actually posted an announcement back in July. And I'll just kind of read it here. It said, rumors are flying once again that all tobacco-related groups may be getting the Facebook axe. Just in case this is true, he set up the group on another website.
Right.
He goes,
Are you going to Twitter with all the sex workers?
No, I think he's going to MeWe, okay. Is what it's called.
It's you and the massage therapist, right?
Yeah. And he went on to say, he goes, I don't know how much of it as of yet, but I know we want our shenanigans to continue.
Yeah.
So he's got a link to the new group. Join now if you want to be safe. He doesn't plan on any activity being there until
Sure.
Facebook, totally kicks us out. But, it's one of those situations, and, a lot of people, who use Facebook regularly know, we're kind of at their mercy.
Yeah.
So, we're just trying to be a group of guys who have a common interest, but it seems like that tobacco/cigar, doesn't fall into what Facebook wants to, mainstream or whatever. And,
sure.
We're a private group, which I find even more funny.
Yeah.
Because you can't just click on our group and join. We've actually got a series of questions because, we want to treat, it's Cigar Smokers of Michigan. So we do have some questions like, do you live in Michigan? Are you a retailer? We like to promote our brick and mortars because, a lot of them have been really good to us. We're here at Ambassador Cigars tonight. And, Jeff and Sean, when we started the group, were huge supporters of us. So, we come out and support them.
Yeah.
But, any brick and mortar, we've got a lot of friends in the brick and mortar business that, we like to help promote their business as well. But it's all a matter of what's Facebook going to allow us to get away with. And, again, we're at their mercy.
Because you guys I didn't see a lot of selling going on, like in trading, like on the bourbon sites and the whiskey sites and the bourbon sites. There's a lot of selling. People would go out and they would buy bottles and they would speculate on it, and they would try to resell them, trying to make a buck here and there.
Yeah,
and I didn't see a lot of that.
No, there wasn't
really
a
seemed
lot.
Like your site was really just people enjoying cigars and sharing what they enjoy.
Absolutely. I mean, the worst thing that we probably do that, and again, I don't know how Facebook would react, but we do what's called a cigar bomb, and we encourage members, if they're interested, to sign up for our cigar bomb.
Yeah.
If they want to bomb somebody, we'll give them a name, and they basically send them cigar-related products. And, with the intention that everybody's just kind of sharing stuff they have in stock that maybe they really liked and want someone else to try,
okay.
Or maybe it's something I don't like, but maybe someone else will. And
running your lighter out of fluid here.
Oh, that's okay. We got plenty of lighters here. But so, we really don't promote the sale of tobacco products. It's more of a brotherhood and sisterhood. I don't want to forget the women because we love
Oh, yeah.
we love the females in our group by all means. But yeah, it's more of a, just a bunch of people who like smoking cigars. It's a common hobby.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of where we treat it. None of us is in it to make a buck, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If I could make a buck off of this, by all means I would.
Right.
But I do have a full-time job, so.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. There's another bourbon podcast, the Bourbon Pursuit guys. They do a really good show. And they were at the big bourbon festival going down, the Bourbon and Beyond festival. It was like a big rock concert and stuff. But the guy from Van Winkle, Preston Van Winkle, said at either on stage somewhere or on a panel or something, but he said they were one of the driving forces behind the crackdown, and they had hired lawyers to help shut down that secondary market on Facebook because there was a lot of selling going on. I guess maybe not a lot, but it really inflated some of the prices. And I found that really funny that some of the manufacturers were behind that, and then now everybody's like, "Oh, let's ban them," and not boycott Pappy. And it's like, well, I already boycott Pappy because I'm not paying $600 for a bottle of, I got to luck into pour off of that before.
And it surprises me that, some of the manufacturers would do that. I recognize they're trying to protect their product and maybe some of their pricing.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, it's a secondary market, and some of their stuff is so hard to find.
Right.
That if I can get my hands on it, and maybe I don't necessarily like it, but I can sell it to someone else and maybe make a buck on it and turn around and someone who really appreciates it, who can't find it in their area.
Right.
That I can only imagine that's going to increase the visibility of their product.
Is it increasing it out of enjoyability, or are people like pay that much and then are let down that it's like, well, this isn't $1,000 pour, what the hell, So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, but I think there's some education there too. I mean, I take it from a cigar smoker standpoint. We were talking earlier about the Cigar Aficionado Top 25.
Yeah.
One of the things I always find funny is as soon as a cigar hits number one, trying to find it is a pain in the ass.
Ah, see.
I got lucky a few years ago when the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Eye of the Shark was number one.
Uh-huh.
And the day it came out, I happened to go to one of my local brick and mortars, and they had like 3 boxes.
Oh.
And yeah,
he hadn't read the article yet, and you're like, "I'll take one of those boxes."
Well, no, I had read the article, and I took one.
He hadn't read
it.
And
he had. The store hadn't read it. Matter of fact, I told one of the guys in our group, and he called the shop that day, and he said, "I'll take the other 2 boxes, and here's my credit card." He goes, "Hold it for me." Just because it becomes hard to find.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. Even if you go on like any of the internet websites, so you go to Cigars International or Thompson Cigars, or I'm just trying to think of some off the top of my head. The day these things come out as, they're the number one cigar of 2020.
Yeah.
You go to their website, they're either sold out or the price is through the roof. You try to get. I went online the day because it was easier for me to go online from work than it was to step out and hit the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And like most of the websites were sold out of the Eye of the Shark. Or if you could find a box, it was $400 to $600 for a box.
Wow.
Where I went to the brick.
Normally, what would a box go for?
I went to the brick and mortar, and I think I paid $250 for it.
Okay.
And you see that stuff, and there have been some cigars I know I'm just not going to get my hands on because the notoriety of hitting a certain list. And to me, I think it's great that these manufacturers, all of a sudden, the prices can jack up and maybe the brick and mortar can make a couple extra bucks, but how is that any different from someone on the secondary market maybe having a box and going, I bought a box 6 months ago. I really didn't care for it, but now that it's number one, I can sell this for crazy.
Yeah, now that it's on the charts, let's sell a couple of these. So what's the most you've ever paid for a stick?
Well, I did not pay for these particular sticks. They were gifted to me.
Okay. What was the most valuable stick you've enjoyed?
It was a $40 stick.
Okay.
It was from Cuba. It was a Cuban cigar.
All right.
And it was, I'm trying to think who the manufacturer was now. It was a Partagas Lusitania. I had hired a new kid at work, and he knew I was into cigars, and apparently his brother's father-in-law was into cigars.
Okay.
And this guy lived in San Francisco and happened to have some Lusitanias, and he gifted me 5 of them.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow. When I found out what, at first I was like, well, thank you. And then I found out what they were, and I was like, thank you. You really didn't have to do that, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the one, and I've still got 3 of them left.
Well, okay.
They only get smoked on special occasions.
All right. So what's your cutoff when you're buying like just a stick? What's your price point? What's a cutoff for you?
I have gone as far as like $20, $25. Once they hit, about $25, you're really scratching your head going, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of sticks where, I paid $20 for them, and I've gone, it was a great stick. It wasn't a $20 stick. I've had buyer's remorse after a couple of sticks.
Yeah.
I've had other sticks that, upon doing research, and I'll give you a great example. A lot of people like the Arturo Fuente Opus X's.
Yeah, it's
popular.
Popular.
Very popular, probably a $20 to $30 stick.
Right.
Well, Ashton does a stick. It's the Ashton ESG, which is the Estate Sun-Grown.
Okay.
It's actually the same tobacco that's used in the Opus X.
All right.
It's just, I think the Opus X is shade-grown, and the ESG is a sun-grown. It's actually probably about $4 or $5 cheaper, and I actually like it better than the Opus X.
Okay. It comes down to taste. Yeah.
Again, it comes down to taste, but I mean, for me, from a price standpoint, all day I'm going, with that particular stick. But again, it's all in what you like, and like I said, for me, I think if you're spending $10 to $15 on a stick, it's usually a pretty decent stick.
Okay.
Now, I've had sticks that have been $5 that have been really good, and I'm like, okay, for $5, I'm not going to knock it.
Yeah.
We did a blind testing. I did it as an April Fool's joke, actually, a few years back. We had one of our moderators, we call him Snarky Eddie.
Snarky Eddie.
And we had another gentleman in the area who was doing reviews for us at the time, John. Tsunami Johnny was his moniker. And I bought some very cheap cigars, took the bands off of them.
Yeah.
And the three of us did a review that day. And we all agreed that it was a pretty good stick, something you'd probably want for the golf course.
Okay.
I asked Ed and Tsunami Johnny, what they'd be willing to spend for that stick. They were like, oh, that's probably about $8 to $9 stick. And it was a $2 stick that I bought at a Wild Bill's, and they were literally called cheap ass cigars. And the band on it was, a beefier woman bending over in some short shorts.
Oh my God!
But we all agreed, we're like, hey, for $2 a stick,
heck yeah!
I'd buy a pack of these, throw them in the golf bag, and you're good for the summer.
Yeah.
So, again, it all comes down to what you like. You don't have to go out and spend an arm and a leg to get a decent stick anymore.
So you earlier you had a Manhattan. Is that your go-to when you're at a cigar lounge?
I actually had an old fashioned, and the reason,
all right, old fashioned. Sorry about that.
The reason I do that is because I'm too lazy to make them at home.
Okay.
At home, it depends on the day. I'll either reach for a cognac, a Scotch, or a bourbon.
Okay. What's your Scotch?
My go-to Scotch is the Glenmorangie La Santa.
Okay.
It's a 14-year-old aged in sherry casks. Mm-hmm. Has just enough of a sweetness on the finish that really nice.
Okay. Yeah, we just talked to the national rep from Glenmorangie.
Yeah, Glenmorangie.
Yeah. So, but no, that was great. They were down at the Sugar House and enjoyed the hell out of that. It was not too sweet, but there was definitely
there's
more
just
sweet
enough of a finish on the end.
Yeah.
But I probably got down to my basement alone in my own little home bar. I probably got 5 different kinds of scotches right now, and it's all depending on what I'm going to smoke that night, how I'm feeling. I've got a couple bottles of bourbon. I usually go to either the Woodford Reserve or the Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
And then I've got a couple bottles of cognac that if I'm feeling really froggy, I'll reach for one of those.
So what about I'm a Guinness boy, right? So what should I pair up with Guinness? Do you drink much Guinness?
I do drink Guinness.
Okay.
I've got a couple cans in my fridge at home. Because of the dryness of the Guinness, I usually like a little bit of a sweeter cigar. So I'll go with like a Drew Estate Natural.
Okay.
It's got a Sumatra wrapper, so it kind of gives you that cinnamony sweetness.
Okay.
There's another one, Romeo and Juliet, Nicaragua. It just came out in the last couple years. First time I tried it, I was like, oh my God, this is a really nice cigar. Again, it's kind of got that natural sweet tobacco taste to it.
All right.
Not one I'd want to have every day, but again, I think it'd pair well with the Guinness because of that. I want a little bit of a sweetness to pair off against the Guinness.
Cool. So this a Romeo and Juliet a what?
It's a Romeo and Juliet Nicaragua, 1875. They probably even have them here in the humidor.
Yeah. I'm going to have to give it a whirl with the pint.
Yeah.
I'm about due for another pint. Paul, thank you for helping out with that. That was a great conversation earlier, and great conversation with you right now. And so if you're in Michigan, right, because you got to be a Michigander or a displaced Michigander or a Michigan fan.
Yeah, or a Michigan fan. We're not too discerning, know.
But Cigar Smokers of Michigan on Facebook, and then they can see your reviews.
Yep.
How often do you do reviews on the site?
I've been getting beat up lately. I have not done a review in several months.
But there's a whole array of them.
But there is a whole
there.
array of them in our video section that you can go back and peruse. I do plan on, now that my workload looks like it's going to be lightening up here shortly, plan on getting back onto those. But yeah, I was doing them weekly. Now it's kind of gotten monthly, maybe even quarterly.
Okay.
I went on vacation in South Carolina back in April, and I did a whole bunch of them.
Okay.
And then I haven't
in your pocket. You should have kept them in your pocket.
Yeah, I should have kept them in my pocket, but people were clamoring for them, so I just let them go.
All right, we're heading into fall.
Heading into fall.
Are you ready for the pumpkin spice cigars?
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
I hate everything pumpkin spice. It's like, with my passion, it's like, oh my God, stop it.
We have had this, ironically, the inner circle of cigar smokers in Michigan has had this conversation. And apparently there are a couple out there that I have been told are not too bad.
All right, if you're into
I have not tried them myself. I'm not a flavored guy. But what I do find, once it gets to be colder weather, I tend to go for the darker, heavier cigars.
That's what I was going to say. We're heading into winter. What's your winter cigar?
So, again, I'm all over the place. Yeah. The nice thing is you got Halloween coming up. So usually there's some Halloween-themed cigars that'll come out. I like to try to get my hands on those. Around Thanksgiving, I believe it's Tatuaje puts out... they call it I'm trying to think. I know it is a light meat and the dark meat, but they put out two Thanksgiving-themed cigars that I like to try to get my hands on. There's always Christmas-themed cigars. I think CAO put out a line a few years ago with the rabid reindeer, and so I always like to try to get my hands on those, just because even though they're gimmicky, they usually have a good flavor to them as well. All right. But I usually, anything Maduro, I kind of like a little bit of a heavier, darker cigar in the wintertime, whereas summertime I'm heading toward your Connecticut's with the lighter cigars.
Cool. All right, Paul. So the Cigar Smokers of Michigan on Facebook. We'll keep an eye out for your reviews, and keep an eye out for you as we do more of these man caves. We'll have you come and party with us. And I was like, yeah, oh my God, we haven't had Paul party with us forever. So
and we finally got me on one without a gin or a vodka guy. So
that we got two more vodka events coming up. So
and it's always great to see Terry and Bruce and that whole group from Sims.
So we'll definitely have you back when they're playing. We won't make you pick cigars for it. We'll just have you come and drink with us.
Oh, I like that even better.
All right, cool. All right, well, cheers.
All right, cheers. Thank you, Jamie. Yep.